baseball lifestyle. It's my lifestyle.
The NL East is going to be fun.
Oh, bloodbath.
Yep.
An
Just
absolute bloodbath. Like, we obviously have a bias here on the show for the Mets, but
it's not just us. The Mets are the most bet on World Series team.
yeah, but that's also because more people live in New York than live anywhere else.
Fine.
So like you
Okay, so
you gotta,
separately from that,
It's also legal in New York. You got to take that.
you gotta
into
hit me. You gotta hit me where you hit me.
fine.
So I don't want to hear about that noise.
But we're what, the third highest World Series odds, which is not what we control.
So that is not what betting is about.
They're
third
the
highest.
fourth.
Fourth. Okay.
And and the odds are shaping fine. They're top 5 team,
Yep.
sure. But where are the Braves and where are the Phillies in that relationship?
The Braves are actually tied with the Mets. They're both plus 1,000. The Phillies are plus 2,500.
So Phillies are down a full point. They're down a full.
which I think is too much, honestly. I think the Phillies have a very good baseball team now.
I think the Phillies are going to hit a lot of home runs.
They are going to hit a lot of home runs.
I don't necessarily know if they're a good baseball team.
They have good pitchers, and they have good hitters.
They have
Cy Young caliber and Zach Wheeler.
So hit me with this, and this is the conversation that we always have, right? How order just in their own division, where does their number 1 pitcher sit?
Third.
So if their number 1 pitcher is sitting third, he's not a Cy Young
Oh no, he'll come in third in the voting to the 2 other guys on our team.
But like,
Yep.
So where does their number 2 guy sit?
Fourth or fifth. Their 1-2 is pretty solid. Aaron Nola's been a Cy Young caliber guy.
Sure. Still not there. So what about the Braves?
Braves starting arms are Max Fried, Charlie Morton. So you're talking about probably 5-6 there?
Okay.
Yeah. I'd actually probably put Fried above Aaron Nola.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Right? So now you're looking at a situation where they're not in contention in their own division for the best pitching staff.
Mm-hmm.
And they're arguably neck and neck with one of the other teams, even on the best days. Then we start going through lineup. There are a couple monsters in the lineup, but those monsters are a different kind of monster to me.
Yeah.
I think Bryce Harper is wildly overrated. I've made this declaration a number of times. That does not mean I do not think Bryce Harper is good. Right? I know he is good.
Mm-hmm.
My problem is he also is very up-down. He typically has followed great years with bad years. He's also had multi-year slumps. The catcher,
JT Realmuto.
he was this God's gift to the world when he was getting ready to sign.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't contributed to winning.
Yeah.
Right? Like, no matter where he's been, it's not like that team's been great. He's never been a catalyst that's been like, hey, I am lifting the organization up and we're substantially better for who I am. Secondarily, catchers tend to fade faster, right? Last year, he wasn't who he's been.
Do you have his numbers?
I do.
Go for it, Dietz.
So last year, Real Muto was a 263 batting average, 17 home runs, 73 RBIs, 782 OPS, which was his lowest OPS since 2016.
Okay.
Right?
And then Harper had whatever he kind of had an almost MVP year.
Yeah, and he didn't win the MVP?
I thought he won MVP.
He won MVP, even better.
It's
been a while.
Wait a second.
I was like, that sounded right.
A lot of stats and things that go
We're
on.
a professional podcast.
I know.
We're top 10 podcast, Canada. But like when you look at that, to me, like the last season is an outlier, not for Real Muto, because that's where I think he's actually trending. Last season's the best season of Harper's career since 2015. So he just had.
He won MVP that year.
In 2015, yeah, I believe he won MVP in that year. So you're now looking at him and you're starting to kind of stack some of this stuff together?
Mm-hmm.
And what are the chances that he follows up that year when last year was 100 OPS points higher than any of the previous 3 seasons before it?
What are the chances? I don't know, but I think with the other
You
addition,
do know.
Sure, they're not.
He's not going to be the guy he was last year.
Maybe not, but I do think that with the additions they made, he doesn't have to be.
My thing, though, is that how good was that team last year?
They came in second,
Right.
But it was like because the Mets fell off.
It was more the Mets falling off that helped
Yeah.
everybody in the division more than it was any of them playing so well that it was. And then the Braves won the World Series.
Yep.
So the division is hard, right? Games in the division are hard, period, end of sentence. I get it. I am of the mind that I can understand why the Phillies are a little dropped down from both of those other teams.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta had magic in a bottle. I don't think that they're going to necessarily have that, especially because the heart and soul that has always carried them has been the guy they just let walk.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they are getting Acuna back.
They are.
So that's
1,000,000%. And Acuna was their best player.
Yep.
And I get that. I really do. More to me, though, is where's Jock at? Is Jock re-signed?
Jock's with the Giants now.
So, big acquisition that helped you guys a lot through the postseason. Gone. We talk
They
about
lost
clutch.
Jorge Soler also.
We talk about clutch hitting. We talk about all the things that make things happen. The only team that got better in the division was the Mets. Everybody else either held par to me or made a move that made them better but not substantially changed the outlook for them.
You can't say that the Phillies didn't get better. They added Castellanos and Schwarber to that lineup.
That's 2 all-star bats.
That's really good.
Yeah, but so to me, Schwarber, it goes to the same thing. Like, Schwarber is going to be only a DH for them.
I
Probably.
mean, they have him listed
Right?
as their left fielder here.
So then my question is, where did they lose
But
some?
him
like,
and
who's
him and
out of-
Castellanos can flip-flop in DH.
Who's out of the lineup?
From previous?
To
Didi. Is Didi
McCutchen?
still there?
Didi is still in shortstop, yes. I think McCutchen was their left fielder last year.
and I'm pulling up because Castellanos became like this cultural sensation, right?
It's a deep drive to left.
But we're talking again that Castellanos is a career 278 batting average guy who just popped off a 309 batting average season. Right? Last year was by far the best year of his entire career. He hadn't had 500 plus at bats since 2018. And again, we're now pulling this guy in and saying, "Oh wow, he is this or that." Schwarber's monster bat. But let's be real. How many home runs did Schwarber hit the last 3 weeks of the season? Didn't he hit 14 home runs in a 2-week window?
He also got hurt.
No, I get it.
Yeah, so in all reality, they replaced Andrew McCutchen or some random player, like just a fringe guy, with Kyle Schwarber and Nick Castellanos.
And Schwarber hit 25 home runs in only 72 games with Washington.
Yep. He was absolutely mashing.
And then hit 7 in 40 games with Boston. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely dropping nukes all over the place. But when he got traded from Washington to Boston, he got a 291 batting average, right? His OPS went up. All his stuff went up. We talk about the offense that happens in the AL East. What's that bump? In Phillies, he's going to get that, but then he's going to go and try to scoop those shots, and he's going to be in Citi Field. He's going to be in Marlins Park, and that's going to be an easy fly ball.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Phillies are building the Yankees, and that's not a bad thing, but I don't know if that's good enough to win that division.
The way I look at those 3 top teams, I would definitely say, just based on our conversation about their pitching staff and what their lineups look at, I think they're all relatively comparable, which is good. It's going to be really good competition. It'll be interesting to see who pushes forward. I think the Phillies have the potential to have the best lineup, honestly, just from the amount of pop they have. But they also could be very boom or bust, and they've shown that in the past. So I don't know, but I think I'm not gonna drink the Kool-Aid too much with the Mets. But I think they have a very nice, well-rounded lineup. I expect a lot more, honestly, from Lindor this year. I think
he's been swinging pretty well right now. But listen, he swung well last.
Yes, the end of last season was who I expected him to be.
Spring training, he hit well.
Last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he came out and he slumped horribly.
Yes, and I don't foresee that happening this year.
I agree. I think he's prepared for what this whole thing is like.
Yes, I like the additions we've made. I'm excited with the way the team looks. But again, I'm not going to drink all the Kool-Aid. I think everyone's very neck and neck. I actually do think the Braves' more impactful additions were in their bullpen. They've loaded up some good arms there. And I think that plays a big role down the stretch with big games. So they have to be in them for it to matter. But I do think they will be there in some capacity because now they know how to win. They have a lot of good veteran players.
I just don't. We're underselling that Escobar is the Mets' third baseman now, and he was All-Star last year.
That's what I'm saying. He's a good player.
I'm just again go. You go line by line for me with the Mets lineup.
Are you happier with him than J.D. Davis? Because you campaigned for him a lot.
J.D. to me, the biggest thing that he doesn't provide is even MLB quality third base play.
Yes, which Escobar does.
Escobar
for sure.
at least has MLB quality like third base play.
Yep.
Their bats are probably comparable. That's why I think J.D. Davis is ripe for a DH trade, especially with so many National League teams.
Apparently, the Angels inquired about him.
I love it.
But they I think they signed an arm, a reliever or something instead.
Which I don't understand. I don't know how those two connect.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and then at the same time, like Jeff McNeil, like did they fix whatever that relationship was?
They have publicly said yes. I don't know how real that is, but publicly it has been acknowledged and they've moved on.
Okay, so they said, yeah, we were like McNeil was going through some shit and he's out of it.
Yep.
If that's the truth and McNeil's back to being McNeil, the Mets have the best lineup of baseball.
I want McNeil to go back to being the contact hitter that he was and not the I want to hit home runs guy. That's all I want.
I'll say right now, the Mets have the best 1-2 punch in all of baseball by far. At the time, I'm not talking 1-2 punch. I'm talking for leadoff hitter, number 2 hitter.
Okay.
First and second. The Mets are the best. You're going to have Marte lead off, right?
Sure.
Or are you going to have Nimmo lead off? To me, Nimmo's leading off for me.
Yeah, I like him
because
as leadoff
Nimmo
hitter.
has a higher on-base percentage.
I like him as leadoff.
And then separate from that, what we've all talked about from that is I would rather a guy who's got a high on-base percentage, but he carries it mostly from a high batting average, which is Starling Marte, who last year between two different teams batted over 300. So he then goes in the 2-hole and he has speed. So no matter who's on, you have wheels. And you're not going to block Marte by having Nimmo on the base pass. He's not that slow, right?
No, absolutely
They're comparable speed. Maybe Nimmo's a little slower, but
he steals bags too. He's a good player.
Then you're going to have Lindor. On the bases, you're now in trouble.
Yep.
And then if any of those people are on, you have to throw fastballs to Pete Alonso. Then the lineup gets interesting. You got like 4 dudes who have hit 30 home runs below that. You got Jeff McNeil, who's batted over 320, like 3 out of the last 4 years.
Yeah, where are they going to put him? Probably 6, 7?
6 or 7.
But then it's like you got Dom, Eduardo,
because who's
Canna
to mix up Pete and whoever's behind Pete. You're probably going to have Dom bat behind Pete.
So you're thinking Nimmo, Marte.
I'm going Nimmo, Marte, Lindor, Pete Alonso. Then I'm going with Dom Smith.
Okay.
Then I'm going with Escobar. Then I'm going McNeil. Then I'm going.
That's 7.
Then I'm going.
You need a catcher and.
Then I'm going Kana. Then I'm going McCann.
Sure.
And then Robbie Cano comes off the bench.
And that's also to me why like I personally think like they should move on from Robbie. And I don't know what they could do. The Mariners are still paying part of that money. They're paying $7 million this year for Robbie.
Yep.
So like, I would get rid of Robbie. I'd pay the balance. I'd take the cat, or I'd trade Robbie and I'd pick up even more of the money.
Oh, I don't know who the heck would pick up Robbie.
Well, at this point in time, if Robbie can hit, the biggest
could
issue,
be like a trade deadline
the biggest
move, something
issue
he's
that the
back.
Mets face is Robbie can know right this second, a better hitter than McNeil. I don't think so. And then I have a hard time saying, do we think right now that Robbie Cano is going to be a better hitter than J.D. Davis, even as his DH, exclusively?
Yeah, I can't say for sure. I'd probably err more towards JD.
And JD's
Yeah.
been mashing for the last 3 years.
Yep.
Like, he's a mid-800 OPS guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, but that doesn't mean that 800, 820 OPS Robbie, who can also play a little bit of shortstop, maybe occasionally first base for a right team, like, if we're going to pick up money too,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to send the $7 million that the Mariners are sending us. We're going to send $7 million of our own money. You guys got to pick up $6 million to pay Robbie
Yeah.
to come bat 280 and hit 20 home runs for you.
It's not a bad idea.
So I don't know. I think the Mets have options. I think they're going to do something, but right now I think they're going to let it fly because they don't know who's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
You never know who gets hurt.
Yeah.
Right now, don't trade anything.
That's why I don't mind the Mets more often than not have had lack of depth. So I'm down
Yeah.
to just
Yeah, the
have
fact
all
that
the people.
Pilar and Villar were the guys who were playing for us all the time last year, and now it's like
facts. We went through like 50 people in the first half of the season.
now it's like our backup is Robinson Cano and J.D. Davis.
Yeah, it's
Like that's who's coming off the bench to swing a bat. Like
not a bad situation to be in.
yeah.
Baseball lifestyle, it's my lifestyle.